right now we have chaos. Right now we have chaos. So, all right, guys, just want to give you a little bit of an update. This girl is going to be tuned in. Pretty awesome in no time. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Bye. Hi guys, Victoria Smith here with Take the Lead Canine Training, and you're watching episode number 6 of Foster Dog Friday. Thanks so much for tuning in. Foster Dog Friday is a video series that I've put together to try and help people who are struggling with their dog's behavior. So often dogs in rescue and shelters, recently adopted in foster homes, or just young pups are out of control and are driving people crazy. A lot of dogs end up in shelters, they end up in rescue, they end up not being able to be kept after they're adopted because their behavior is so bad. The good news is 90% of dogs in shelters and 90% of dogs in rescue are not aggressive, and the only behavioral issues that they do have are easily fixed with training. And we're talking about training that gives us a conversation of yes and no, that we're teaching our dog what we want them to do, we're setting boundaries, and we're not just spending our life canoodling and cuddling our dog, but we're actually teaching them and leading them. Ultimately, dogs with bad behavior are hard to keep in families. The owners are struggling with the dog's behavior, foster homes are struggling with the dog's behavior, and it makes it really difficult to live harmoniously with our new dogs. The cool thing is, if we apply a little bit of training, we can create a really great transition into a new home. We can take a dog who's crazy and out of control and turn them into a calm, well-behaved dog, and we can start setting boundaries for these dogs and teaching them how we want them to behave. So that's the goal with the series. Make sure to check out our previous videos as we discuss how to introduce dogs to your home, how to read dog body language, how to set yourself up for success. You know, this is all about empowering owners, empowering foster homes, empowering people who are in rescue, empowering shelter staff. This is all about empowering people with the right information so that they can get well-behaved dogs. Today's video is about the crime of being an adolescent dog. So, what do I mean by adolescent dog? The majority of dogs up for adoption behind the bars in shelters and with rescues getting turned into homes, ones who are having dog trainers hired for them are between the ages of 6 to 8 months, and 3 years. Generally, most people get a young puppy, and they start at 8-week-old puppy who sleeps a lot, and your biggest priorities are potty training and socialization. Once we do that, we're like, hey, puppy raising is easy, although puppy raising is actually really hard. But it's a lot easier to manage because we're treating them like a baby, like an infant. The biggest of our worries is pee on the carpet and a lack of sleep. Now, as the dog starts to get a little bit older, a little bit bigger, a lot more hyper, we're dealing with things like jumping on the kids, pulling on the leash, chewing stuff up in the house, and that's when things get kind of challenging. What happens though is as these puppies grow and we don't set boundaries for them and we're kind of confused on what we should be doing, and there's a lot of information out there that says raise your puppy this way and don't raise your puppy this way, what happens is the little bumbly, sleepy 8-week-old puppy turns into an adolescent dog. All of a sudden, we've got a dog who's chewing and jumping, pulling on the leash, and generally being out of control. The reason our shelters are chock full of adolescent dogs is because typically at that age, they're getting big, they're pulling, they're strong. They've been in our house since they were 8 weeks old, and so they've kind of grown up doing whatever they want. A lot of times people make the mistake of coddling a puppy too much, carrying it around all the time, and never letting it actually be a dog. We treat it like a baby. And what happens is then it grows up to be a mouthy, pushy, a young teenager dog who is like a human teenager, full of piss and vinegar, full of energy, full of hormones, and just off the walls crazy. Now, does that mean that these dogs aren't fun? That these dogs shouldn't be adopted? Absolutely not. You can have the most fun with an adolescent dog. Some people adopt a young dog. They might get a 4-month-old dog or a 5-month-old dog. Again, young, not quite as stumbly over yourself. Yes, they need a lot of naps. Yes, they still need potty training, but you're starting to get a more active, energetic dog. Young dogs are a ton of fun. They're a lot of fun to train. They're really smart. They're easy to work, and they are generally, ready to engage with you. However, if you don't engage with them in a way that satisfies their needs and satisfies their mind, you're going to get a dog who easily gets bored, destructive, barky, pushy, and really rambunctious. So let's go back to the shelter scenario, and you're walking the row of the shelter and all you see are young dogs jumping at you. I want to tell you that 90% of those young dogs behind the bars of the shelter are actually amazing dogs that just need to be trained. A lot of people look at shelter dogs and rescue dogs and they think, oh man, it's probably aggressive, it's probably got some really naughty behaviors. Why else would their owner give it up to a shelter? Most of those dogs in shelters, a lot of them have been turned in because as they went from being sweet little cuddle bunnies that we could treat like stuffed animals as puppies, little puppies, turned into adolescent dogs that were hyper, that were pushy, that were excitable, that didn't have boundaries set. And so the aisles of those shelters, don't think these are bad dogs that are in shelters. These are great dogs. They're just dogs who don't know how to act. Nobody told them how to act. Nobody told them no, you can't pull on the leash, no, you can't jump on people. Young dogs need boundaries set for them, just like young children need boundaries set for them. We have to set boundaries. We have to teach these dogs how we want them to live in our world. That means a concept of tell them, yes, you're doing a great job, give them feedback, give them treats, give them praise. We also have to tell them no, no, you can't jump on me, no, you can't jump on the counters. We have to be able to teach them both ways, and training is the best way to teach a dog anything. It saves you from saying, oh my gosh, my dog is crazy, my dog practicing bad behaviors, my dog getting anxious and putting herself in a bad state of mind. It teaches her how to be calm, how to listen, and how to wait for the owner to give her something else to do. If we train our dogs and show them what we do want them to do and what we don't want them to do, we can teach them as young adolescent dogs how to behave. And the cool thing is, you've got an 8-month-old dog, if you put the time in, the work in at the beginning, you can have an amazing dog for 15 or 16 years even. So when you're walking the shelter or you're looking for a new dog, or maybe you're at home struggling with your pushy, bratty young dog, and maybe you've done some training. I know people typically try things before they give their dog up. It's not a matter of, oh, he jumped on me once, it's time to give him away. I know people try lots of stuff, and I think there's just a lot of ineffective things out there. But the problem is, there's a lot of information out there, and it's hard to find information that's valuable, information that works for you. I know people are trying stuff, and they're getting frustrated because things aren't working. Nobody wants to give away their puppy. Nobody wants to adopt a dog and then struggle with it. People want a harmonious family. They want a harmonious reunion. They got these dogs to love them and keep them. Nobody gets a dog thinking it's time to give it away. So training is your key. Training is the most important thing that you can do with your dog. A balanced training approach is going to give you the opportunity to teach your dog yes and teach your dog no. I'm going to have links in the video description. We're talking about introducing to a prong collar. I'm a huge advocate of balanced training, and one of the one of the great tools we can use to help our dogs stop pulling on a walk, to help us communicate through the leash, to help stop jumping, counter surfing, all sorts of things, is a prong collar. And I've got videos on how to introduce it to your dog, how to fit it for your dog, and how to use it properly. It's a great way to be able to communicate with your dog effectively, quickly, and in a gentle fashion that teaches your dog yes and no. Everyone needs boundaries. Dogs need boundaries, children need boundaries, humans need boundaries, relationships need boundaries. The issue is we have people struggling. We've got information in the world that does not seem effective. People try and it doesn't work and they get frustrated and they think there's no hope. If you have a young dog, do some research, fish around, look for a balanced trainer in your area. That's somebody who utilizes the conversation of yes and no with your dogs and teaches your dogs how to respect the people in their home and shows you how to teach your dog what you want them to do. A lot of information is out there and a lot of people struggle. If you're trying something and it's not working, look for another approach, look for a different trainer, look for somebody with videos or photos or testimonials that truly say like, yes, things have helped me. There's a lot of free information out there. Myself and other balance trainers, we try and put as much as we can out to help clients because we want to see dogs stay in homes. So young adolescent dogs, right? Griff and Maddie and Sadie, fun dogs, but without training, without boundaries set, you'll pull your hair out, you'll struggle. And we get dogs to have fun and enjoy them and to teach them how to be excellent canine companions so we can grow up with them and let them grow old with us and be a great part of our family. So if you're looking for a dog, those guys in the shelter that are hyper and jumping, they just need some training. And if you have a young dog and it's hyper and crazy and you're struggling, it needs some training. And if you've already done training, reach out to somebody else, ask some questions, reach out to me. I can point you. I know some people. I know people around the country. I'd be happy to help you. But we want to keep dogs in homes. We want to help dogs find homes. Ultimately, we want to create well-behaved dogs in homes, so maybe we can add more dogs to the homes that we already have. There's so many dogs out there that need families, and there's so many people with a heart this big to help them. We just have to give you the right information so that you can help the dogs in your life and you can help the dogs that you're going to meet in the future. This goes for foster families where you're raising a dog for someone else ultimately, and this goes for people who have recently adopted a rescue dog, people raising a puppy, or maybe somebody with an old dog that's just like, you know what, I want him to stop pulling on the leash. It's never too late. There's always things that you can tweak and change. The information's out there. I'm here to help you find it, and a lot of trainers want to help you find it. A lot of people in rescue want to help you find the information. We want you to keep your dog in your home. We want you to live a happy life with your pup, and we want to save as many dogs as we can. All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. Good job, guys.